Socket 7 here. It appears that a lot of people are having some trouble with sling loading properly in the MI-8. There's a lot of calls that it's very hard, that they please get the cargo cam working. I'm having trouble doing this without it. So welcome to Novorossiysk on a rainy day. It's 9 meters a second crosswinds here. And we're going to be doing some sling loading because it's really not that hard. It's just like air-to-air refueling. You need to practice, and you need to find that magic spot that all the magic happens at. And once you know where that spot is, it's rather easy to stay there. But you have to know where the spot is. You know, when most people, they start learning on the A10, they do air-to-air refueling. What I found is, you know, I would always fly too high and I would chase the boom, and it was horrible. But once I learned that I was, you know, 10 meters, not 10 meters, but several feet too high, and I needed to be flying lower, and I needed to be staring at the bottom of the KC-130, air-to-air refueling became a lot easier for me. So I'm going to attempt to do the same thing with sling loading. Just by sort of showing you where is the right spot to be for sling loading to work properly. And once you learn where that sweet spot is, it's much easier to put your helicopter in that sweet spot. You just have to know where it is and have a few techniques for lining yourself up correctly. So ahead of me, we've got a Jeep and a cargo container. This is a mod you can get off of the website. I'll include a link in the YouTube description with a URL for those. I installed all of my modifications with JSG ME, the generic mod enabler. You should get it. It's really good. It's really simple to use. And yeah, get it if you're going to be playing with mods. So we're going to go here and we're going to select from our radio. We're going to select all cargo with F6, and we've got two cargoes here, and I'm going to pick up the lighter one. Not that these are too heavy for either of them. So now, as you can see, it's a windy day. Like I said, 9 meters a second, and you can see the smoke is really blowing. So that's the first thing that we're going to do, is take advantage of the wind. We know which way the wind is blowing, and we want to face into the wind. That's going to make our life much easier when we're trying to hover over our target, because the wind won't be blowing us off. It'll just be trying to blow us straight back. So we can just sort of position ourselves to creep forward at, 9 meters a second, and the wind will be blowing us back at 9 meters a second, and we won't go anywhere. We'll just hover. So now that I'm lined up, I'm going to get down way too high right now. The thing that I did when I first started sling loading that was very wrong, and I needed to learn not to do, was I was way too low. You can see I have my radar altimeter set to about 8 meters, and what I'm going to try and do is hover at 10 meters above the ground, and that is plenty low for sling loading. The other thing I'm doing here, as you can see, I'm leaning way over, so I can watch my approach here, and I can watch the Jeep disappear underneath my helicopter. I'm also going to take basic sighting references. I'm going to pick a few references around that I can use to make sure that I'm still continuing to head forward, and that I'm, sort of right over where I want to be. The next thing to realize is you have to be way further forward on this thing than you think you need to be. Like right now, you think, oh, I'm almost over it. It's just disappearing. No, you're nowhere near where you need to be. You need to be way further forward. I'm going to keep going further forward here, probably almost further than that white line. And you're going to see, I'm just not far enough forward. So, looks like what happened here is I got off to one side, and I didn't go straight over it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to back off again. I'm going to find it, and I'm going to try and pick a couple of better visual reference points so that I know approximately where I want to be. Let's see if, and you can see I've got these lines on the runway. Not the painted lines, but the lines between the tarmac there. The cement, whatever that texture is. So I'm going to try and use those to line up this time. And I think that'll help work a little bit better this time as I creep forward. I just want to concentrate on going forward at the right height. Too far to the left. There we go. There we go. So this is with a 9-knot wind. No use of the cargo cam, just use of reference points. And we're going to go ahead and restart collective, and we're airborne. We're hauling a Jeep. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Let's go drop this Jeep off somewhere. I'm going to try and put it in a soccer stadium, because why not? Nothing better to do. Whew, windy. So the key takeaway here, as with all of my videos, I said this before and I will say it again, I am not a talented pilot. I am not a professional. I am a rank amateur, and all of my skills exist because I practice. I've played for many hours, and I've just done it a lot. And the more you practice, the better you'll get, and things will start working, and then one day you'll realize how they all connect together. One of the realizations I had recently, actually, is about the Doppler navigation system. Or not even the navigation system, just the Doppler hover system. In a previous video, I may have stated that the Doppler hover vertical velocity meter is more accurate than the barometric vertical velocity indicator. And that's not entirely true. Apparently the vertical velocity indicator, what I've noticed, is actually influenced by movement of the helicopter. So unless you're in a perfect hover, you can find that pitching up or down can actually affect that. So what you want to do is look at both of them and compare the two. And between the two of them, you'll be able to have an accurate picture of where you are. So there you go. I've come down, I've dropped my cargo, easily placed it there. Suppose I should have placed it in the center of the field, but I was talking to you guys and wasn't concentrating on putting it down in a pinpoint spot. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to line up on one more target here, and I'm going to do it again so that you guys can sort of see. I'm going to talk my way through this so you can understand what I'm thinking while I'm doing this, and hopefully you can take something away from that and become a better sling loader yourself. And then it won't matter if your cargo cam's broken, because you'll be able to do it without the cargo cam. And everybody will ooh and ah and say, "Oh, you're a really good pilot." No, I've just spent 40 hours trying. So let's go ahead and contact our cargo. And this one, as you can see, is sort of on the white lines. So I'm going to use the white lines as my reference point to make sure that I am lined up with the target. And I only have to worry about going forward and backwards as opposed to left and right. I suppose once you get into trying to rescue people from the ocean, you might find the cargo cam to be helpful. I actually, though, much prefer there is a script for MIST that has a crew chief basically tell you if you, with numerical directions, 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock, if you are on top or above. And I prefer that much to the cargo cam. Cargo cam distracts me, and I have a hard time hovering and controlling. I find it's just more of a distraction. I'd rather have an audio cue. Or just do it myself. So here we go. I'm at hover at about 10 meters above the ground. I'm going to use the white lines on the tarmac to make sure that I'm lined up horizontally with my target. And now I'm going to start creeping further forward than I think is necessary on this white line. And right when I think that I'm too far over it, I'm going to be right over it and right in the right spot. We're going to see a message come up saying cargo hooked. There it is. Ta-da! Now we gradually increase our collective until we reach the end of our slack of our sling load. And we take off. Fly our little cargo, sling-loaded cargo, over to the soccer field. This time I'm going to try and put it down right in the center of the field, just to prove that you don't need the cargo cam for this. You can just do it. Again, this is in 9 meter per second winds, 9 knot winds. Yeah, 9 knots, not meters per second. Set my radar altimeter to give me an alert when I reach 20 meters, because that's about 5 meters off the ground for my sling load cargo, I believe. So that'll let me know when I'm almost to the ground. Again, we're going to try and set this down in the middle of the field, like a boss, right on a bullseye. Again, this is in 9 knot winds. Rainy day. And you can do this too. All you need is practice and the tips that I've given you. You can be much higher than you think you need to be, and use visual references to line up on your target so that you don't have to worry about going to the left or to the right, and then you can just concentrate on going forward and backwards. Go ahead, keep creeping over. further forward than I think I need to be to land in the center of this circle. Come down, come down, come down. Okay. Now we're within 10 meters. I know that's low enough to unhook. Unhook and back away to admire my handiwork. See how close to the center I got it. Well, E for effort anyways. I got it in the circle. That's not bad. Wouldn't do well in darts though. Well, maybe I could. A little more practice. Always use more practice. Anyways, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the YouTube section. And I hope you've learned something. Because if you've watched this entire video and haven't taken anything away from it, I don't know what to tell you.